Korea fired off more missiles earlier today. We are awaiting confirmation on what kind of missiles they were, but we now know they flew hundreds of kilometers before coming down in the East Sea. Our defense correspondent Kim Hyun-bin joins us today in the studio. Hyun-bin, thank you for coming in, and I understand there's some significance in the numbers.
There is. Good evening, Daniel. The South Korean military says North Korea fired off 4 ballistic missiles this morning, and experts say it is unprecedented that Pyongyang fires 4 missiles at the same time.
North Korea fired 4 ballistic missiles into the East Sea from its Tongchang-ri missile site at 7:36 a.m. on Monday. The missiles flew around 1,000 kilometers at an altitude of 260 kilometers. Seoul and Washington are currently analyzing the launch.
A defense ministry official says that the missiles could be a mixture of mid-range Rodong missiles and Provocations-2 missiles, which are an upgraded version of the North's intermediate-range Musudan ballistic missile. Now, Japan announced that 3 of the 4 missiles fell in its exclusive economic zone, and 1 came within 250 kilometers of Japanese land. The South Korean military has condemned the launch. It says it's on high alert and maintaining readiness for additional provocations.
North Korea has launched another ballistic missile following the launch last month. This is a clear violation of UN Security Council resolutions and an attack on the peace and stability of South Korea and the international community.
Last Friday, the North had threatened to launch more missiles in response to the annual Key Resolve and Foal Eagle drills between Seoul and Washington. The large-scale field training drills called Foal Eagle started 2 days before on Wednesday, and the command post exercise Key Resolve will start next week. It's common for North Korea to fire missiles during the drills, which are set to continue through April, and experts expect the North to launch several more missiles through then.
Right. Well, one side effect of North Korea's provocation is that it will bring the traditional allies, South Korea and the U.S., closer, and we will have more reasons to deploy the THAAD missile defense system. But of course, the issue has been quite a controversy here in Seoul, with Beijing slapping economic sanctions and South Korean products sold in China as well. So, Hyun-bin, why is the planned deployment causing such a ruckus, and what are the pros and cons of the defense upgrade? Could you line that out for us?
Sure thing. South Korea and the U.S. confirmed early last year that they will bring THAAD to the peninsula, and they reached their decision after North Korea conducted its 5th nuclear test and ICBM launch. To get a better idea of THAAD's capabilities, let's take a look at this chart. Now, you can see Pyongyang has a range of missiles, from its tactical Scud missiles to its intermediate-range Musudan ballistic missiles and ICBMs. They're also working to perfect submarine-launched ballistic missiles, creating another level of threat since detecting an SABM is very difficult. Now, during a war, it's thought that the Scud series missiles with a range of up to 500 kilometers will be used to target key military facilities in the south, and Rodong missiles, which have a range of up to 1,500 kilometers, will likely target the U.S. base in Okinawa, Japan. Now, troops there are the first U.S. troops that will be deployed in a time of crisis on the peninsula. Now, the Musudan, which has a range of 3,000 kilometers, is capable of reaching the U.S. territory of Guam, and the Rodong ICBM is able to reach the west coast of the United States. So with the deployment of the THAAD system, Seoul and Washington will be better able to intercept some of these missiles when fired upon.
Right, and before the THAAD confirmation, we were talking about an indigenous defense system called the Korea Air and Missile Defense System. We can find strength in numbers, and apparently using both systems could be beneficial to us. Could you walk us through some of the similarities, differences, and perhaps how they complement each other?
Sure thing. First, the 2 systems have different purposes. Now, the Korean Air and Missile Defense mostly uses the Patriot 2 and Patriot 3 missiles. Now, both are part of low-tier missile defense system and have an altitude range of around 15 kilometers. Now, that is a mid-tier missile defense system able to intercept a missile from an altitude of 150 kilometers. So technically, it gives Korea another layer of missile defense. Now, if that misses the enemy missile, Seoul will have another chance to intercept the missile with its low-tier Patriot missiles. Given all of that, one expert has pointed to the potential goal of this latest launch.
There is a possibility that North Korea fired 4 missiles at once to neutralize THAAD. However, all 4 missiles are within THAAD's interception range, so it doesn't have what it takes to neutralize the system.
So, Hyun-bin, we know that China has been not shy about expressing their frustration and anger in opposition to THAAD system. So what is the primary cause of its objection?
For that, let's hear what an expert has to say.
The biggest problem is that the U.S. will be in charge of THAAD. China is suspicious that the system could be used against them instead of North Korea.
Now, THAAD is equipped with a state-of-the-art X-band radar that has a detection radius of 2,000 kilometers. So when the THAAD is deployed to South Korea, it will be capable of detecting most of China's key facilities.
Right. Well, thank you, Hyun-bin, for broadening our horizon about the defense measures against North Korean threats. We hope to have you back in the studio again sometime soon to, of course, fill us in on the constantly changing complexion of the situation.
Will do. Thank you.